Today's video is going to be a little bit unusual. This broke. This is a ice cube level sensor arm on my refrigerator. This little piece here broke off and I thought, why am I going to buy something online when maybe I can fix this through 3D printing, because I got a brand new 3D printer. So took some rough measurements. Actually, matter of fact, what I did is I went on the internet and I downloaded a picture of the arm itself, and I just traced it in this software here. This is Autodesk Fusion 360, and just did a rough sketch and extruded it a little bit. It's not perfect, but I think it should do the job. So then I exported this as an STL file, and let's go throw it in the 3D printer and start the process and see how it works out for us. So this is my 3D printer. It's an Ender 3. You can buy these for a couple $100 off some of the Chinese websites. If you're interested, I'll put a link down in the video description. One of the big differentiators for most of these 3D printers is the print bed size. So this is 220 millimeters, 220 millimeters, and 250. There are bigger, there are smaller, but for little jobs and stuff, this works quite well. So I'm going to prep the bed here, and we'll show you how it works. So the first thing that I do is, by the way, the Ender 3 doesn't come with this glass bed. This is just cheap dollar store glass that I bought. And the first thing I do after washing it is just use some isopropyl alcohol just to take the fingerprints off. Because the thing with 3D printing is that the first layer that it puts down has to stick to the bed really well. And fingerprints, of course, prevent that. So I'm just using some 99% isopropyl alcohol. It smells like at the doctor's office. The next thing I do is I use a glue stick like this. This is a Yoo-Hoo. Yoo-Hoo. Anyway, so we'll just pull the bed out and we'll move the head out of the way. And you just apply this glue stuff in a thin layer on the glass bed, and this just helps the first layer stick to the bed. Otherwise, if you don't do this part, you risk the chance of your printed part lifting, curling up, and of course you won't get a good print. So this guarantees that we get a good first squish layer stick. Now, I'm not an expert at this stuff. I just started playing with this thing a few weeks ago. So let's go through the motions. Alright, so I have a micro SD card on there with the STL file that I've loaded, so let's go into the screen and start the print process. So I'm just going to go down and print from SD card, and I'm going to pick icecube.arm.g code, press enter. And it's going to take a couple of minutes here. First it's going to heat up the bed. Let me just show you what's going on here with the screen, just so you understand. So this is your print nozzle. That's the little heated part here on what we call the hot end. So that has to heat up to 200 degrees C. We're printing PLA, and this is the heated bed, so this is going to heat up to 60 degrees centigrade. That's your fan. Then you have a line here that shows you your X, Y, and Z axis. Of course, it's not moving at this point. And then underneath that, it shows you your feed rate, which is how fast the extruder runs the PLA from the spool in. So I usually run that at 100%. And then it shows you your time currently printing. The thing about 3D printing is you have to be very patient. This stuff takes literally hours to do, depending on the size of the part. I think in my software that I used, it estimated it would take about 2 hours. So we'll wait for this to heat up. I'll show you the process once it starts going, and then we'll come back a little while and we'll check on the finished process and see if the part works for us. If not, we'll make some small adjustments and we'll do it again. Well, as you can see here, the temperature is finally heated up, and my hot head right now has a bed leveling sensor. That's this little guy right here. So it's going to take some measurement points to make sure that this is absolutely flat, and then it will automatically start printing. And the print has started. I have my G code set up so that it prints a skirt around the first object, so we have kind of an idea of how big it's going to be. I mean, I printed it at 100% scale, so. Alright, here we go. Kind of mesmerizing watching these things at first. After a while it gets boring because, like I said, I'm not going to sit here for 2 hours and watch this thing print. At least you get a pretty good idea of what how this stuff works.
2 hours later.
Oh ho, our part is finished. Here it is. It's all done. Oh, that's popping it off. And yeah, I don't know. I might have to trim this back a little bit. We'll take a look at it, compare it against the real piece, and see if it fits. I love this stuff. It's pretty neat. I mean, it's not 100%. You'll see here. I'll compare it here. All right, so you can see here. This is the original piece. Looks like that. It's got this like focus. Little in bits here, and this is the one I printed. Now we're getting to the end of the second print. This is the first one that I did, and unfortunately this part here didn't work out. I didn't get my measurements correct and I butchered it. Yeah, so anyways, garbage. There that. So I did a new one, and I improved it. So we're just getting towards the end of this. You can see here the print is almost done. And then we'll be able to do a quick fit on the fridge. Alright, I thought I'd show you what's going on here. This is the piece here. The arm has to fit onto this. It's got some cogs that fit into the wheel part there. I'm going to put it on. And it just senses how much ice cubes are in the tray here. So anyways, let me throw it on and see if it fits. I did a test fit and it looks like it's going to work here. Yeah, it fits. It's on there. And so anyways, I'm going to put it all back together here and see if we can make some ice cubes. All right, let's make some ice because I was getting really impatient there for a while. So let's get some ice going. Finally.